conditions of the ministry within the church. First Corinthians dealt with conditions or corrections in the church, and so that uh, concludes the introduction. And now we're going to move on to the outline. I do believe that there is an outline at through the Bible, TTB, through the Bible.org. You can find it there. You'll have to scroll down quite a ways before that you find notes and outlines on the left hand side. You click on that, and then appear all of the books of the Bible, and you can click on Second Corinthians and see the notes and outlines for Second Corinthians. This epistle is difficult to outline. It is less organized than any of Paul's other letters, but it contains more personal details. In each chapter, there is always a minor theme developed, which sometimes seems to take the place of the major theme and is generally exposed to some striking verse. This may explain the seeming difficulty in outlining and organizing this epistle. We will note this as we consider each chapter. The first breakup is the first part of the outline. Number one is comfort of God, is chapters 1 through 7, or Christian living. Number two is a collection for the poor saints in Jerusalem, chapter 8 through 9, or Christian giving. Number three is calling of the Apostle Paul, chapters 10 through 13, or Christian guiding. And you can break down chapters 1 through 7. A is the introduction, chapter 1, verse 1 and 2. B is God's comfort for life's plan, chapter 1, verses 3 through 24. And J. Vernon McGee stops there on the radio broadcast. I am reading through the Bible by J. Vernon McGee. And so, for time's sake, I'm not going to read the rest of the outline either, I don't think. You're welcome to look that up. But I'd rather just get into chapter 1 while we can. Well, I might read a few more. How about that? C is God's comfort in restoring a sinning saint, chapter 2. D is God's comfort in the glorious mysteries of Christ, chapter 3. E is God's comfort in ministering of suffering for Christ, chapter 4. F is God's comfort in ministering of martyrdom for Christ, chapter 5. G is God's comfort in all circumstances and the uh, ministry of Christ, chapter 6. H is God's comfort in the heart of Paul, that's chapter 7. Under the second division of chapter 8 through 9, A is example of Christian giving, chapter 8, verses 1 through 6. I think Paul uses Ephesus as the example. B is exhortation of Christian giving, chapter 8, verse 7 through 15. C is explanation of Christian giving, chapter 8, verse 16 through 9 and verse 5. D is encouragement of Christian giving, chapter 5 and verses 6 through 15. The third division, chapters 10 through 13. A is authentication of Paul's apostleship, chapter 10. B is benediction of Paul's apostleship, chapter 11. C is revelation of Paul's apostleship, chapter 12. And D is execution of Paul's apostleship in chapter 13, verses 1 through 10. And E is the conclusion of Paul's apostleship, chapter 13, verse 11 through